Right now I'm here in Big Bear Lake. I brought my Avata 2 with me. A little while ago I bought these filters from PolarPro for the Avata 2. I haven't really used any of these yet. If I remember correctly, they're a ND and polarizer combo filter. I'm curious to see what effect does the polarizer have on the Avata 2. I'm going to do 2 flights, once with the filters off and then the second time with the filters on. It is a little bit chilly out here. I'm wearing shorts. Let's get to flying. My camera settings while shooting without any filter on was 100 ISO, 1/640 shutter speed, but I was shooting at 4K 60. I want to try to shoot at 1/120th of a second. Why is there a knife there? But because there was no filter on it, I had to drop down my shutter speed in order to get the correct exposure. Just bring that inside. It's really bright out here. It's a sunny day and the water is very reflective. I'm gonna try putting on the ND8 polarizer for this flight. As you can see right now, just with the ND8 filter on, it's a lot darker. So I'm gonna need to adjust my shutter speed to get things back up to a neutral exposure. So here I have both shots side by side, the left side with the no filter shot and the right side with the PolarPro ND8/PL filter. I was shooting in the D-Log color profile, so the same color grade is being applied to both shots here. And you'll notice there's a big difference in the color. The right side is a lot more muted. It feels like there's a greenish brown tint that is being applied to the shot overall. And I think this is mostly due to the fact that I left the white balance in automatic. So the camera is now trying to compensate for light that is now, instead of coming through the lens directly, it's now passing through the ND filter, which I think is why there's such a big difference between these two shots. I went ahead and redid the shots while setting the white balance at a fixed, I believe, 5600 Kelvin. Again, the same color grade is being applied to both footages at the same time, and the color looks a little bit more similar to one another now that the white balance is fixed at the same temperature. And right off the bat, I think you can see there's a big difference in the sky, at least in this shot, when facing away from the sun. The top of the sky towards the edge of the frame is a lot darker compared to the left side, and I think just overall the highlights of the shot was brought down a little bit because of the filter. And then here you can see that you don't really see the reflections of the trees from the distance in the water itself, flying around the same height. And yeah, there's a big difference between the reflections on the left and the right of the trees in the water. It's a lot more muted or blurred out on the right side. In some scenarios, I think the colors on the right side are still a little bit more muted compared to the left side. Overall, the contrast I think is a lot darker. I think the surface of the water overall with the filter on is a lot darker. You don't really see that much through it. Now, there were some variables I didn't control very well, such as the speed of the drone plus the distance from the ground that the drone was at. But on the left, I was shooting at a 1/1600. I believe on the right, it was at 1/60th of a second. So I think if you look at the two shots, the motion blur of the right shot is a little bit more apparent compared to the shot on the left, but it could also be due to the fact of the height from the ground that the drone was at in the right shot. So the closer to the ground that it is, the closer to the object that it's flying by, there's going to be a little bit more motion blur versus compared to on the left. I was flying a little bit higher. I will try to do this comparison again one day, but let me know, which shot did you prefer? Did you prefer the image with no filter or the one with the PolarPro filter on it? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate if you left a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.